Good morning, I'm UK Air Rifleman. Firstly, I'm going to apologise for the length of time between videos. It's been an absolute age, and there's a few good reasons for it. The lockdown was one, pretty much ruined that summer. The summer after was also locked down pretty much until August, so that was it. Also, I work in healthcare, and finding the energy to come out when the lockdown was finally lifted was, well, other people had plenty of energy because they're furloughed, obviously, but not me. It was absolutely bonkers. But you don't want to hear about that. What I'm here for is the shooting. So today it's a beautiful July summer's day in 2022, and we're in a field that's just been cut for hay. There's a few fields with standing barley and wheat around as well. I'm waiting for those to be cut, so we might get some good shooting over that later on in the year. Hopefully we'll get that on camera for you. But this is the first field I ever decoyed back in 2012 using a Webley Raider 10 in 2.2, and I did actually film that one, so it's quite a special day today. So it's like a 10-year anniversary of the channel, I suppose, even though there's only about 6 videos up, so it's not a good run rate really, is it? But anyway, we're going to be using the NRA FUD decoys, the same as what we did 10 years ago. And I'm also going to build a traditional hide, the same as I did 10 years ago. And I'll do a fast motion or fast action replay of that straight after this. So after that then I will be seeing you in the hide. Wish me luck. Okay, that's my attempt at a traditional hide. Unfortunately, Steven Spielberg would have me fired. I wasn't recording while I was setting it up, but I'll talk you through it anyway. It's quite simple. It's just a frame made from garden plant poles or bean poles, preferably an olive green. And luckily these gazebo connectors from an old knackered gazebo fit the poles perfect, so that makes up your frame. And then I use these pegs to hold the net on. They're just like similar to a clothes peg, but they fit these poles perfect once they're open. And then to hide below the shoulders, I put a tarp inside. It just covers up any movement of your feet when you're shuffling around in there trying to get lined up for a shot. And with a little bit of a hole. And then of course the local fauna just to help it try and blend in a bit. I haven't used too much, there's not much here for me to cut really. As you can see, it's quite a relatively well manicured hedgerow, and they're mature trees, so I don't really want to chop them down. So obviously you have a little doorway, and I've laid it so there's a bit of a drop in it because some of the birds come into that tree up there. So we've got a good line of sight up there. So that's pretty much it. So I'll get everything into the hide, and then I will do a fast motion shot of me putting the decoys out. There's going to be 7 decoys, 6 FUDs, and I have got a real bird as well in the blue bag, defrosting. So real birds are always better than decoys, so we might do well. While I was setting up, the birds were landing up that end of the field, so I fancy it. Wind's coming from my back, which is perfect, and there's not much of it, which is even more perfect. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a good one, I think. Wish me luck. Well, the real pigeon hasn't defrosted yet, so I've just laid him on his front for now. We'll wait for him to defrost and then we'll pose him properly. As you can see, U-shaped pattern. Nearest decoy is about 13 yards, 14 yards. Furthest one is 40, which is my 0. So, and so's 13. It's my point blank range, 13. So anything in between there, I'll just aim slightly low. Job's a good one. I'll see you in the hide. Well, welcome to my hide. I haven't had a chance to film this segment actually. Within 5 minutes of sitting in here, I've bagged one, and within 10 minutes of that, I've bagged a second one. So we're doing very well indeed. Looks like the setup's working. Here's another one. Yeah, there's birds everywhere. I got caught with my pants down there a bit. Oh dear. Never put the rifle down. Anyway, those two are still out there. They've landed on the front, so we can leave them for a bit. I'll go and pick them up in a sec. Oh, yeah, it's quite exciting today. Okay, we've been here 40 minutes and we're doing okay. We've downed 3 and missed 1. One was a young bird, the other 2 are adults. The 2 freshly shot adults are out there in the pattern. I brought the frozen one back in, and I brought the young bird back in because there's not much white on his neck, which is what attracts them down. There's birds everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant sport, and I'm doing okay. My record bag shooting this style has been 8 birds, and if it carries on going the way it's going, I can see me beating that record by quite a long way. So we'll see how we get on. Alright, I just wanted to go over the tactics one more time. I'm basically in the far right hand corner of this field, and in the far left hand corner is that gap between the main wood and that tree where I set up in the winter a couple of years ago. Now I know the flight line goes from this corner over to that corner. They also come following the wood tree line, and they converge in that corner. Now you're probably thinking, well, why haven't I set up in that corner? I wanted to be as far away from the dog walkers as possible today. I've passed on the way here. They're everywhere. So this is as far away from the footpaths as you can get on this property. So yeah, that's why I'm down here. Also, this is where I shot 10 years ago. It was the first time I ever decoyed, so it was a good spot. The hide. That's another reason I'm in this corner. You can build a really nice hide in this corner. It's overhanging trees, just the same height as the hide. It's absolutely perfect. It's dark, it's dingy in here, it's lovely. The only thing that's not going for it is, although today the sun's in, which is good, when the sun comes out, the sun's shining directly into the hide, which isn't ideal. Wind direction is not really a factor in it today. There's no wind hardly. I'm aiming dead on with all the birds. Mainly going for low neck and chest shots, if I'm honest. I think I might start trying headshots once I've hit 4 birds. Give them a bit of a fighting chance. I used to be good at shooting headshots, but this rifle's a bit heavier than my other rifles, and I can't really hold it on aim that steady unless I'm using this stick here. So we'll try. We'll see how we get on. Right, it's 1:45 in the afternoon. All I've got to report is 1 miss in the last hour and a half. We had a bit of a rain shower about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and that seemed to switch everything off. Put yourself in the bird's shoes, I suppose. I wouldn't want to be flying around in the rain, get my feathers wet. So what they do is they find a nice sheltered, deep bit of woodland, and they'll sit there and they'll sit it out. Also, it coincided with a time, according to the textbook, where pigeons follow a very similar cycle to humans, where they'll have a morning meal, then they'll rest, then they'll have an afternoon meal, then they'll rest, then they'll have an evening meal, and then they'll rest. So I think we're in one of those lulls at the moment where they've been feeding and now they're sitting in the trees, digesting the food, having a rest. I mean, again, put yourself in the bird's shoes. You've just had a great big meal, Sunday lunch, it is Sunday. The last thing you want to do is get up and start flapping your arms around. So yeah, I think that's what I'm doing at the moment. I have just missed one, saying that. It was a good way out. I've no idea how far. It seemed beyond the far one, so I'm going to give it 50 yards. And I don't think I'll give it enough elevation, because I thought it was at 40 yards. The breeze has picked up a bit as well, so I might be playing with a bit of wind. In here it's quite sheltered, I can't feel any wind, but I can tell it's blowing. Just not sure what direction, which makes it quite difficult. That's another thing about hide shooting, is you can't gauge the wind really, unless it's an open hide. There we have it. So I'm hoping it'll pick up in the next hour or so, and we'll see how we get on. Oh, we've just had another one there. I don't know whether it was on tape. The tape was running, but the view was obscured, I believe, by the net, because it was on my far right here. The bird was 45 yards out and over the brow, so all I had was a headshot. I'll give it about a mil dot of elevation and no windage, and yeah, rolled it over, so that was great. I've just been out and had a tidy up of the pattern. 3 of the birds, the freshly shot ones, are out there with sticks under the chin, just to prop their heads up. They're all facing into the wind, and I've closed the right hand side up more. I believe the birds are either going to come straight in, like these ones have just done, but they've flown over, or they're going to come from the left and land. So I've left the left hand side of the U fairly open compared to the right, so it's more of a J shape, if you know what I mean. It's all tactical, this pigeon shooting. But all of the birds I've shot so far, apart from that one, have been in the kill zone, which is exactly as planned. While I've got you, I wanted to do a quick shout out. I don't do promotional videos or anything like that. I haven't got any patrons. I think I've got about 50 subscribers, if that. I don't monetize the videos. I do this purely for the enjoyment of doing it. But I would like to make a mention of my local gun shop, Riley Guns, Brett & Co. They're absolutely brilliant. Both of my rifles are from there. All my ammunition is from there. I fill the guns up with bottles bought from there. Most of the major equipment is from them. I also use Sandwell Field Sports. They're brilliant. They look after hunters' vermin in Ireland as well. If I get a Springer, which I'm thinking about doing soon, I dare say I'll be popping over to see Tony at Sandwell Field Sports as well. And you can, I'll probably have an HW97 with an upgrade kit, upgraded spring in it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Gonna save me pennies. It might be worth monetising the videos just for that. But there we are. That's my shout out. I've had a few new pieces of equipment over the last couple of years. I did just before I closed down for the lockdown. I bought myself a new rangefinder from Hawk, and that is absolutely superb. It's nice and compact, better than my old one, which was a proper chunk. It was like that. This one's called the LRF 600 Hunter, maximum range of 600 metres, with a field of view of 1,000 metres, and it's got a nice 6 times magnification as well. So it's useful for spotting as well. So yeah, happy with that. What else have I had? You know about the PAO scopes because I've done the videos for that. Oh yeah, the DD Hammocks tarp. That was recommended of a friend who does amateur radio. I was doing amateur radio as well. I still do. I'll climb mountains and set up a shelter and build a radio station up there and see how far I can get, basically. For those of you who aren't into amateur radio, you probably wonder why you don't just use a mobile phone. And I did wonder that myself for a while. But then I got the bug. But that's a whole new channel, that one, I suppose, in the future maybe. So yeah, I think I've shown you my shooting sticks. They're fairly cheap. I don't know where I got them from now. That's about it. Oh yes, new gloves. Got these off Banggood. They're alright. Completely fingerless, come nice and thin for the summer. I only use them for camouflage. When you bring your rifle up in big pinkies, big slab hands will scare the birds off, so you've got to have some sort of gloves on. What else was there? Yes, I wanted to mention the camouflage. This is the original camouflage kit I had when I first started, before I discovered Jack Pike. Unfortunately, I was going to get the Jack Pike gear for the summer, which is the same camo pattern as that. This is Jack Pike. I forgot what it's called now. I think it's English Woodland. And it's mainly green, which is perfect for the summertime. But couldn't get it, so I kept my ex-army camo. This is a specific pattern. It's the old pattern from the 80s and 90s. Falklands War era. DPM I think it's called. And I find it actually works very well in the summer. It's quite. I've only got the jacket on and a thin shirt underneath, so. But I used to wear it in the winter and freeze my nuts off. Until I got the Jack Pike gear in the autumn colours, the winter colours. It's absolutely brilliant, that stuff. But yeah, this is what I use in the summer. So that's it. That's all I wanted to mention. We'll see how we get on from here. We're doing okay. 4 birds down. I've got 5 altogether. If you include the frozen one. But yeah, that was shot on another session. That was a few years ago. So there we are. We'll see how we get on from here. Probably going to pack up at 5. Lucky bugger. I suppose my luck's bound to change at some point. Looks like we've had a few misses, but never mind. That's hunting for you. Well, I'm definitely doing something right though today. Definitely doing something right. So yeah, we're doing all right. I have managed to look back at the footage. I connected to the wrong scope cam via Wi-Fi, and the 45-yard headshot, as you've probably already seen, was partially obscured, which was a shame. But the other guys are on tape by the looks of it, so at least we've got something to watch. That last shot was seriously awkward. It was all the way over to the right, and quite a long way as well. I wasn't comfortable taking it. That's my excuse anyway. I could have done with using my left shoulder really. Probably didn't even see anything on the camera. Never mind. Not long there before we'll be packing up. Right. Well, we've got a bit of a quiet period just before we're packing up. I just want to have a chat about the NRA FUD decoys. FUD stands for fold up decoy. They're made from neoprene with a stake inside them, and they fold up to the shape of a pigeon. They're a good trade-off between having shells or full-bodied. Now, a lot of people recommend full-bodied decoys. I personally haven't worked out how to fit 12 of them into this bag or into this bucket, with a great big net and all the other big gear that goes with it, so I'm not sure how they do it. So I prefer the lightweight and the packability of the fold-up jobs. One thing I will remark on is that when you look at them, you open the box, the colours don't look right. I don't know why, and it might put people off. They look nothing like a pigeon. The greys aren't that grey, and the whites aren't very bright, and but to a pigeon, they probably look better than an actual pigeon. I don't know. They work. I know they've got a special UV finish, and as we know, pigeons can see in UV. That's what the white stripes and the white bars are for. They reflect UV light, so that might be why they work. You can get 6 in a very tiny space. They're very durable. The first set I had lasted for a good 6 or 7 years, and then I bought another 2 sets. I've only bought 1 set with me today. So there we are. Over shells, yeah, they're brilliant. I haven't had much success with shells. Never shot with full-bodied decoys. Never been able to pack them. So there we are. Highly recommended product. Even if I got no real birds with me today, I'm sure I'd have done well with those. I bought the shells with me as well, but I was in 2 minds whether to use them. I think I remarked first thing this morning when I was setting up that I preferred the FUDs because the grass is quite short. They see a hollow body and it just spooks them off. For shotgunners, then fine, because they don't have to land. But the idea is to fool these birds into landing, and to have them chill out long enough for you to be able to get a shot at them. So there we are. Brilliant. Love them. I don't know how to react to this really. They're a beautiful animal, but they really do play me up here. I've had a buzzard come down and has took the 45-yard headshot pigeon. I'm absolutely gutted, but well, there we are. I didn't get it on tape either, which is a bit of a shame. I stood up and clapped my hands to try and scare him off the bird, and he just grabbed it and went with it. So yeah, Grand Theft Pigeon. Never mind. That's hunting for you. It was good to see him though. I do like seeing birds of prey, and I'm quite proud that I did my bit helping one survive. So there we are. That'll do. Well, that was rather a good day. We've got 5 there altogether, and it was 5 I shot altogether in the end really. I did have 1 stolen by a buzzard, as you know, so I've counted the frozen one. I think it's only fair. So that was textbook woodpigeon shooting over Hay Stubble. Really good day. I don't do the Patreons, I don't do the likes, I don't really do the comments, but I would like you to subscribe. That would be fantastic. I do the videos for free. I don't get paid to do them. I'm just here as an educator, really, and I enjoy making films, especially films about hunting. So there we are. I hope you've enjoyed the movie today, and I'm UK Air Rifleman, and I'll see you in the next hunt.